Manila, the bustling capital city of the Philippines, where 100 million people live, scattered over 7,000 islands in the Western Pacific. Here, exactly 3 years ago, an experiment took place at the annual meeting of the Asian Development Bank. Microsoft and the partner organisation Adaptrum demonstrated the capability of TV white spaces. It was a catalysing event in a revolution that's been taking place in communications.
We're working with innovative operators to use this technology to reach the next 4 billion people. This is really a game-changing technology.
And now the world's leaders in emerging communication technologies are back in Manila for the third annual meeting of the Dynamic Spectrum Alliance.
It's all about bridging the digital divide, advocating for more spectrum, dynamic spectrum regulations. I think everything that we are advocating for is being vindicated here in Manila.
The whole mission of the organization is really built around an engagement with government and with regulators to try to get them to adopt the regulations that'll be necessary in order to create a market for all these new technologies.
We have limited spectrum, but we have indefinite requirements. So that's why we think the shared spectrum is the future. We can have a lot of innovation and technology which can make the world be fully connected by wireless.
The developments in 12 months have been extraordinary.
Things have been changed significantly in the past year, and we are seeing pilot projects around the world. More than 30 countries are seriously considering get TV white space pilot going. 3 more countries other than US has adopted TV white space rules. So it's an exciting time.
Last year, the agenda was all about getting national regulators to take a chance. The concept has been proved. Now, it's all about taking the next big step.
The regulations are now coming into place. I think what we now need to start seeing is the ecosystem following some of these regulations and standards. Significant deployments of not 50 radios, but to 1 million people, because I think that will send a big stimulus to the industry, particularly if we can get down to somewhere around the $3 to $5 economics.
One reason for choosing the Philippines is that the country is one of the first to announce plans for a national rollout of TV white spaces, a leading form of dynamic spectrum access. Building on a pilot project in Bohol that focused on rural broadband and disaster recovery, a project is getting going here, one that connects schools, its students and their teachers, paid for by a scratch card scheme which provides access for the rest of the community.
We are working with the Philippine government, and we have a local ISP as a partner, and try to cover like for 70 schools. And so we service for a student for free.
Using this Wi-Fi connection, we can produce productive youths who can compete not only in the Philippines but globally.
The alliance is made up of technology firms, access providers and academics, all committed to improving the efficiency and broadening the reach of communication technologies, improving access for the world's poor, enabling the Internet of Things.
Cars will talk to other cars, cars will have to talk to humans, and also cars will have to talk to other machines.
Alleviating the so-called spectrum crunch.
It's not just about more spectrum, it's about, more spectrally efficient technology.
And advocating for easier passage through the regulatory networks.
It's important for rules to be technology agnostic and flexible, and to take into consideration global harmonization and scale.
Our whole orientation is around defining very clearly what the hurdles to connectivity are, and then lining up some programs and technology to try to overcome those hurdles.
And of course the regulators are here too, with a much more positive outlook.
We've done all the crawling, we've done some of the walking. So you could skip those steps and start with maybe even a slow trot and get to that running stage very quickly based on the work we've already done.
It will be a great opportunity to go directly to commercial deployment.
We have taken the decision to, after the test run, to give it a commercial status because we realize the efficacy of the technology.
My message to you, let's continue working together to connect the unconnected.
Now, of course, they need to allow the pilots to be extended.
We're the regulators in the world to allow TV white space usage today. I think within a year, there would be tens of thousands of companies that would have formed. Within 2 years, we would have hundreds of millions of people connected that wouldn't otherwise be connected.
And the pressure shifts to the technology developers to be producing devices at prices that can allow these projects to go further.
The last mile is probably the most expensive mile. And when you talk to the operators, that's where they really can't get to the next 3 billion people, because it's so expensive. So we're looking at some new technology on how to lower that cost.
That's the real challenge for dynamic spectrum, is to get to the scale of manufacturing where those prices come into that kind of Wi-Fi sort of range of prices. Affordability is at the heart of all of this.
By the time of the next global summit in Colombia, this entire landscape could look very different if the speed of change continues. But one thing is almost certain: there will be large-scale rollouts of dynamic spectrum access technologies.
In 12 months' time, I'll be disappointed if I don't see a significant deployment somewhere. And I certainly will be doing my best to lobby not only some of the members of my alliance, but countries to look at what we have achieved here in Manila and what's happening here in the Philippines, to say take a leaf out of the Philippines book.